Well, for the better part of this day, we have witnessed a beehive of activities, especially here in the capital, from the WRC Safari Rally kicking off at City Hall grounds. Of course, they're currently headed to Kasarani, and of course, finally, it will be in Naivasha. Also, the royals are still here with us in the country. That is King Alexander Willem, as well as Queen Maxima of Netherlands, who are still with us here in the country and are touring various parts of the country just to meet various peoples from stakeholders. Just like this morning, they met with the Chief Justice Martha Koome. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim. The sign language interpreter at the bottom end of the screen is Lucy Maura. Talk to us on our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1 and at Abdiaziz Hashim 1. Let's start at the Supreme Court of Kenya, where King Willem Alexander and Queen Maxima held a bilateral engagement on Thursday morning with Chief Justice Martha Koome. The talk centered on the importance of an independent judiciary and an increasing inclusive access to justice. The royals, in the company of the Chief Justice as well as Judge Njoki Ndugu, Tourism Cabinet Secretary Rebecca Miano and LSK President Faith Odhiambo, toured the Judiciary Museum, which showcases the history and development of Kenya's judicial system. Now, moving on to education matters, Manyata Member of Parliament Gitonga Mukunji has criticized the Ministry of Education's proposal for mathematics to be an optional subject. Mukunji emphasized mathematics is key in everyday life and should remain as a mandatory subject for learners, as it lays a foundation for problem solving and critical thinking skills. Speaking during the official handover of a modern administration block that is at the ACK St. Philip Kiangoshi Primary School in Embu County, the legislator called for further deliberations on the proposals to ensure a consultative approach is adopted.
Mimi nataka kushauri the Ministry of Education. Hesabu ndiyo inafunguaga akili ya watoto. Hatuwezi anza kupea watoto chances ya kutupa hesabu kwa sababu inakuwaga ngumu wakiwa katika JSS class. Zile courses zinaitwa STEM, sciences, STEM courses, they must be protected.
Still on that debate, a section of education stakeholders is calling on the government to reconsider its decision to make mathematics a subject optional. Speaking during day 2 of the Kenya Science Engineering competition that is taking place in Moi Girls, Nairobi, the stakeholders said making the mathematics subject optional will erode the gains that the government has made so far in churning out the best mathematics students who compete favorably in the job market.
Kenya Science Engineering competition in Moi Girls, Nairobi. Mathematics debate dominated the event, with a section of education stakeholders calling on the Ministry of Education to rethink its decision to make the subject optional.
The government should consider making mathematics a bit lighter for those who find it so heavy for them to do. But there are some who really know maths and they should just continue. To me, it should not be made optional. It must be compulsory.
The competition saw learners showcase their creativity in tackling insecurity challenge using new invention.
Inahusiana na mambo na security. Venye tunaweza motivate ourselves to security, yani tujichunge na wezi na ambao wanatumia teknolojia mpya. Pia nasi tumekuja na teknolojia yetu ambayo ni ya kisasa. Ila wakijaribu kuja kuiba hawawezi.
The new technology that they have employed is not like what we have nowadays. We have sensor cameras where you just, when someone tries to intrude your home, the sensor camera will only show some light. Now for this one, when someone comes within your home, an intruder, the sensor will be able to know the person surrounding the home from far, and the alarm rings within your home.
The learners also made known their input in handling matters to do with food security to ensure the country is food secure.
Farmers who are doing small-scale farming, it can help them. They can apply it in their farms, since it is automatic and it is multi-purpose, meaning it can multitask, meaning it can provide 2 different tasks at the same time. One of the tasks that it can perform, it can help the farmer in irrigating the land automatically.
It is a very innovative project, and it's working to help us curb the global challenge of droughts and food insecurity. So by using this, it will ensure that our country is food secure, and also it will create some more employment.
The Center for Mathematics, Science and Technology Education in Africa, SMEs, is keen on tapping the creativity and innovativeness of learners to prepare them to handle any emerging challenge in life.
We are impressed with our students, what they are coming up with. When you look at what they are coming up with, you can see that our society, we are moving in a good direction. We should encourage our students to keep on having a new invention like the one we have at the moment.
Timothy Kipnuso, Lunchtime News.
Now, state and non-state actors have been urged to involve the youth in the fight against violent extremism through economic empowerment programs. The stakeholders say the youth, who are an easy target of radicalization, can play a pivotal role in curbing terrorism. The National Counter-Terrorism Center NCTC Chief Liaison Officer Colonel Emmanuel Chicher underscored the need for more coordination and an inclusive approach if the war on terrorism is to be won. He was speaking during a forum themed strengthening youth engagement in the fight against violent extremism.
We keep hearing about them offered by the various ministries, Kazi Mtaani, Ajira program, Youth Fund, and all other affirmative action funds that are there. And one of the points of discussion today, especially in panel 2, is how to coordinate as policy makers and as government to ensure that all these opportunities therein are given to the youth.
But again, it is important to indicate that the affirmative action funds, as Kano and Rehab rightfully indicated, we have structures that have been put in place that are supposed to safeguard the interests of young people insofar as access to these funds.
Priority areas of the new strategy, there is one arm that is called inclusivity. In this inclusivity, we are going to ensure that the youth play a role in having conversations amongst themselves that will be able to take them, be able to drive conversation of building resilience amongst themselves and collectively from those particular groups, small from every section, ward, the county levels, collectively into 47 counties, and as a country again, will be able to build a critical mass that is having this conversation on defeating violent extremism. So it is a space that we are going to be present. We are going to have very, very candid conversations with the youth that, you know what, we know the problem is there, but we know we have to protect ourselves, not as an individual, but also as a country.
And in other news, residents of Kangir village in Homa Bay County have launched a community-led efforts to prevent flood disaster. The residents have embarked on digging trenches and opening the banks on the Odhede River, which is currently blocked and posing a serious flooding threat. With heavy rains pounding the region and the long rains season underway, residents fear the situation could worsen, replicating the devastating floods that have displaced them for years. The flooding threats has already disrupted essential services in the area, such as health care. The local health facility, Kangir Community Dispensary, has so far been closed due to worsening conditions, prompting the Department of Health to temporarily relocate its services to Alego Primary School.
Watu wanahama kila uchao, kila msimu wa mvua. Sasa ndio niliambia hawa watoto wangu, tuondokeni, tufieke hii river Odhede ili maji ipite mpaka baharini. Sasa ninaomba kama mzee, wale tuliowachagua watusaidie
We have been tilling the land at Kimera. The place is nowadays totally overflooded. We cannot even do tilling there. Come down to the lake. We cannot even do tilling down there because of the flood.
The thing of this river is very, very crucial to the flow of water into Lake Victoria. And right now, if it is not dredged, it is flooding homes, flooding farms.
Now to a heart-wrenching story here where a somber mood engulfed Shikoti village in Lurambi constituency, Kakamega County, following the discovery of a floating body of a 1.5-year-old baby in a river near her home. According to the deceased miner's parents, Elizabeth Nanjala and Frederick Kuteka, they left the child playing with her friends and went to church only to return to the news of her death. Police have since launched investigations into the incident.
Nikapata habari kwamba mtoto amepatikana amekufa. Mtoto si ati alikuwa mgonjwa, lakini alipatikana amekufa. Kuna mtoni iko hapa, kama mtoni iko hapa hivi. So mtoto alipatikana amekufia pale. Na wakati ako pale mamake hakukua. Mamake alikuwa ameenda ushirika ya kanisa.
Nilipokuwa narudi niko ng'ambo hapo hivyo nateremka kwa mtoni, nikaona tena mtoto wa huyo tushemeji yangu. Sasa msichana anakuja mbio. Sasa alikuwa anakuja mbio, sasa mimi najiuliza na mama mwenye nilikuwa na yeye tunajiuliza na mtoto mwenye anakimbia hivi, yani anakimbia, yani kuna shida gani? Sasa mtoto alinifikia na akaniambia, akaniita mam, kimbia. Driana amekufa.
Our condolences to the families. Elsewhere, police ambushed and managed to repulse suspected bandits who had raided a homestead in Loruk area in Baringo County. The officers recovered stolen livestock, including 47 cows and over 250 goats. The bandits, estimated to be over 20, were overpowered by officers following a fierce encounter. This is the third attempt that has been foiled by police officers in a span of 1 month. Recently, one person was shot dead in Garatuko area following an attempted raid.
We are tributary successes with the coming together of all the several teams, including the NPRs, who have really played a good role in ensuring that they share information with us. They are the people who understand the ground, and our operation actually has been intelligence-led, because we get a lot of information about the movement of the bandits, and we take proactive measures to ensure that we counter their actions before they execute.
And in other news, chaos erupted during the launch of the 55 million Ngoliba modern market officiated by Thika Town Member of Parliament, that is Alice Nganga. A section of residents and traders allegedly ferried from Kiambu, Kiandutu, Limuru, Lari are reported to have attempted to block the MP from commissioning the project. This forced police led by Thika East Sub-County Police Commander Andrew Nzola to intervene to restore order. During the launch, the MP accused her political nemesis of plotting the botched chaos, saying she will not be intimidated as her track record speaks for herself.
Nataka ni maendeleo kwa sababu anajua ukweli. Nimeleta hii maendeleo, nimeng'ang'ana kule Nairobi kuitisha hii pesa, ulienda ukanitoa kule Kiandutu mpaka siku ya leo. Kiandutu ijawahi jengwa. Hata Kiandutu ijawahi jengwa hata mae moja. Sasa unataka watu wa Ngoliba bado waingie kama vile ulifanya katika Kiandutu?
Now, the family of Sebastian Chimita, a teacher who died in unclear circumstances in August 2023, is still demanding justice for his death nearly 2 years after the incident. The family claims the suspect in his death were arrested and released, and efforts to have an update on the progress of the investigations remain futile. According to the wife of the deceased, Irene Ososo, the late Muswenje was murdered after the suspects broke into their house in what she believes was a family feud. Prior to his death, he had engaged in a violent altercation with his brother, and that was the last time he was seen alive. The son of the deceased teacher says that the case was transferred from the DCI office in Butula to the DCI Western headquarters in Kakamega County, and there is still no information on the progress of the investigations to ensure the culprits are brought to book.
Ufungue stima, nikasema kwani Musaku hapa, nirudi nyuma ni nani? Nikachukua simu yangu, kuna mali na jaja simu petro ingine huko. Alafu kuchukua simu kuenda kufungua hiyo stima, nikipitanga nikaona amelala hapo. Amelala tu vizuri, simu wamemwekelea hapa. Alafu yeye amelala tu hivi.
Wale waliua mzee wanajulikana na wanatembea, kwa sababu hata jamii na community ya Ogalo, jamii na community ya Shirandala wako na habari, lakini mtu hawezi jitokeza kutoa ushahidi. Hiyo ndio kitu watu wanaogopa. Kwa hivyo mimi ninaomba haki waweze kushikwa na wawekwe ndani ili haki ya mzee iweze kupatikana.
And on the political front, a section of the political class in Migori County have faulted their fellow politicians for engaging in what they say are early campaigns that are fueling border clashes in the area. Migori branch organizing ODM secretary, that is Joseph Onyango Olala, is accusing a section of leaders of fueling divisions and unrest, cautioning youth against being used to spread violence. Further, local elders are warning the growing unrest could derail development projects and create animosity.
Hatuwezi tukawa na maendeleo kama kuna fujo katika county. Naomba viongozi wote waliochaguliwa na chama cha ODM kwamba tunataka heshima. Tunataka heshima katika Migori County.
Ochila yako is the president of Migori County. Na kama Ochila yako ndio president of Migori County, akisha ongea, wewe ni nani ambao sasa ndio unataka uongee nyuma ya president? Heshima sio utumwa.
We were not happy to see those fracas. And I'm taking this opportunity as the chairman of SACWA East Africa Elders Forum to ask our people who are vying different posts in politics to try to become
The National Transport and Safety Authority (NTSA) has expressed concerns over the increasing number of fatalities among Boda operators, with 1,166 riders losing their lives in the road accidents last year compared to 1,133 in 2023. Speaking during the issuance of logbooks to motorcycles at a culture hall in Kisii Town, NTSA manager for South Nyanza, Adenado, emphasized the need for enhanced safety measures. Adenado noted that the authority, in collaboration with the National Police Service and the county government, is working to curb the rising death toll among Boda subsector.
The trend is still increasing. From an NTSA perspective, who are the lead agency on matters road safety, we are reaching out to all partners that have a goodwill in terms of addressing this as they discharge their services to these people, so that we can all of us address the issue of road safety and sensitize and give capacity to these people.
Over the last few years, we've had an increase of theft within the border areas, and one of the key things that we started working is working very closely with the border leadership. So we're one of the companies in Kenya that has mapped out every stage in Kenya. We're talking about over 30,000 stages that have been mapped up. We know who is the Boda leader of that specific stage. So we're working very closely with these leaders. In case an asset is lost, it's very easy for us to track this asset through our GPS system and work closer with the Boda leadership.
Pension schemes have been challenged to embrace innovative alternatives to ensure that members get better returns. According to the Public Service, that is the Superannuation Scheme Chief Executive Officer Dr. Jonah Ayebai, the proposal by the government to embrace a public-private partnership is a step forward towards ensuring stability of pension schemes and ensuring member funds are invested in profit-making ventures. He spoke in Nairobi County during a media engagement forum.
Secretary National Treasury said that we are now even inviting the pension funds and insurance funds to be able to partner under an arrangement or PPP, so that at least instead of government sourcing funds elsewhere for development of the infrastructure, they can as well partner with pension schemes to be able to support the same, and at the end of the day, the pension funds get their return. So there is need for innovation, there is need for continuous looking for proper vehicles that can deliver an effective return for members.
And now to our top story this afternoon. Public Service Transport Operator Supermetro Limited has had its license suspended following the death of a passenger who was allegedly thrown off the moving vehicle along Thika Road for lack of sufficient fare. In a statement, National Transport and Safety Authority (NTSA) has confirmed that the operator will not be allowed to provide transportation services until it's put in place measures to safeguard passengers' safety. NTSA has further cautioned passengers against commuting vehicles belonging to Supermetro vehicles. The Traffic Department has also been asked to impound vehicles flouting the suspension. We're duly keeping an eye on that particular story and we'll inform you in our subsequent bulletins. Now, a freight train derailed on Wednesday evening in Munyuki area, Lugari Sub-County, Kakamega County, after 10 carriages overturned. According to witnesses, the accident occurred when the rear wheels of the train disengaged from the rail, causing the wagons to overturn. There was a drama as residents rushed to the scene and began looting from the train, which was transporting wheat to Uganda. However, police officers arrived at the scene and managed to disperse the crowd, preventing further looting of the spilled wheat. Residents claim that the railway has not been well maintained for years.
Nilikuwa niko pale nalima pale chini ya reli hapo. Nikastuka nikaona gurudumu na katika pale nyuma koshima pale nyuma. Inaporomoka, mimi kuangalia najaribu kualert driver. Jaribu kupunguza speed huku nyuma, mambo mbaya sana. Sasa saa kidogo mimi nikaanza nasubai hivi kuangalia. Gurudumu ya pili imenifuata tayari. Nikatoka mbio.
Ukirudi nyuma na mahali penye gari moshi imeanguka, kule nyuma hakuna kokoto. Hawafanyi marekebisho. Saa yote hii gari hata unaweza kuwa unatembea ushtukanie imeboromoka.
Gari limetoka kwa reli na mabehewa 10 ya maanguka na ilikuwa imepepa ngano.
Serikali liangalie hii mambo na reli. Watuchunge hii maisha yetu. Hii maisha yetu tunaona iko hali ya hatarini.
A consortium of dental health students from the University of Nairobi has called for the incorporation of dental health care into the universal health coverage system. Led by the Dental Students Association of Kenya's treasurer, Jerry Musila, the students said the move will avail the crucial yet often overlooked services to all Kenyans in the country. Speaking during the commemoration of the Oral Health Day at the varsity's precincts in Nairobi, the students also lamented the government's slow pace pace of absorbing qualified medical students in the field, which they say has adversely affected the provision of oral health care in the country. The students are set to undertake a week-long exercise of providing free dental services at the university sports ground to celebrate this year's Oral Health Day, themed A Happy Mouth, A Happy Mind.
You've seen that SHA is not covering all dental services. And we want to remind the government to consider to provide dental benefits in the SHA coverage, because it is important that Kenyans have. Most of the county governments are not employing dentists. Most of the persons living in the county governments do not have adequate access to dental services. And we're imploring the government, through the Council of Governors, to consider having dentists at all facilities from level 3, 4, 5, and 6. Because Kenyans need to access quality dental care services.
This, we will work closely with schools, community groups, and health organizations to roll out oral health programs in every corner of the country. Remember that a happy mouth is a happy mind.
"25 minutes past the hour. We need to take our first breather here on KBC's Lunchtime News. Don't go too far. We still have more for you in the world of business as well as sports.
Two cultures. Two religions.
Wanaenda msikiti ama wanaenda church? Wanaenda kanisa.
One heart, one soul.
Tulipatana kama yeye ni msupa. Unajua kitu mzuri kipita lazima uangalie.
Who makes the best dishes?
Nisema tu watamvuta pole pole, wane kama anaweza deliver kwa ni Mkristo.
Wewe una plan to convert?
Hapana.
Kabisa?
Huyu? But then
gifted me a precious gift that I treasure till today.
Na akaichukua.
Wanaosema tutawachana, sidanganyi watangoja sana. Yetu pia Konde Boy na Kajala.
The FIFA World Cup 2026 Africa qualifiers match schedule is up for match day 5. In Group F, the Gambia will host Harambee Stars on Thursday, 20th of March from 10 p.m.
And which may show here. And yes, the breakthrough's there for Kenya.
Catch the action live from Alassane Ouattara Stadium in Abidjan, Ivory Coast, live and exclusive. KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Join me on a journey as we unlock the secrets of a healthier and vibrant you. We'll also share real-life stories of courage and resilience.
From the waist down, I felt like I was paralyzed. The pain was too much, and I never used to eat when I'm on my menses.
Tangu hiyo onje nishike, nimeharibu vitu zangu mingi ili nipone.
And experts interviews shedding light on various conditions and treatments.
Surgery seems to be the only option for women suffering from endometriosis.
You feel something is wrong in my stomach or in my intestine or at the back. Don't just ignore it.
So you're talking of bowel, bladder, ureter, kidneys, so you have to be very careful.
Plus, we provide practical health tips for living a healthy lifestyle, no matter what challenges you may face. Only on KBC Channel 1.
And now let's get down to business. Cooperative Bank Group has reported net profit of 25.5 billion shillings, which represents a 9.8% growth that was driven by double-digit growth in interest income. Cooperative Bank Group has proposed a dividend payout of 1 shilling and 50 cents per share, which will see shareholders sharing out a total of 8.8 billion shillings.
Net loans and advances had a slight reduction at 373.7 billion shillings compared to 374.2 billion shillings in 2023. But the amount didn't slow the bank from growing its total operating income by 12.5% from 71.7 billion shillings to 80.6 billion shillings. This comprised of a non-interest income, which grew 10.1% to 21.1 billion shillings, and interest income that rose 13.9% to 51.5 billion shillings. On the other hand, total operating expenses increased by 12.5% to 80.6 billion shillings as the bank increased investments in strengthening its digital footprint and increasing its branch network to 211 outlets. Cooperative Bank Group Managing Director Gideon Morioki says the lender plans to open 15 branches this year. The increased branch network in 2024 pushed up staff numbers from 5,400 to 5,863 at the close of 2024. This also impacted staff costs that rose from 16.7 billion shillings to 18.3 billion shillings. Despite increasing its branch network, Morioki says the lender has moved 92% of customer transactions to alternative delivery channels such as ATMs, mobile and internet banking, and over 16,000 network of Kopkwa Jirani agents. The lender has proposed to share out 8.8 billion shillings to shareholders as dividends at the rate of 1 shilling and 50 cents per share. Alan Nauko, Lunchtime News.
Now, Absa Bank Kenya has announced 20.9 billion shillings in 2024 full-year net profit that was powered by 10 billion shillings in a total interest income to 64.7 billion shillings. The lender has proposed a dividend payout of 1 shilling and 75 cents per share, as Frederick Moki narrates.
Bank Kenya paid out 1 shilling and 55 cents per share in dividends to shareholders last year. This year, shareholders are set to pocket more after the lender proposed to pay out 1 shilling and 75 cents per share in May 2025. This is after the lender registered a 27.5% increase in its full-year net profit to 20.9 billion shillings. Total interest income increased 19.3% to 64.7 billion shillings, while total non-interest income rose 10.8% to 16.1 billion shillings. On the other hand, total operating expenses rose 5.5% to 32.6 billion shillings on account of higher staff costs. This is after staff costs increased from 11.7 billion shillings to 13 billion shillings on account of the lender opening more branches. Despite the lender reducing its loans and advances to customers from 335.7 billion shillings to 309.1 billion shillings, the total non-performing loans and advances increased from 29.4 billion shillings to 35.3 billion.
In a flat lending environment,
180 billion of new lending. That shows our commitment to the market. And as Yusuf said, we expect, it's a natural outcome of what's happening in the interest rate environment, that we'll see more lending, not just in our bank, but in the industry as a whole.
These pushed Absa Bank Kenya to increase the loan loss provision from 17.4 billion shillings to 20.8 billion.
We saw the businesses' preference to go for things like overdrafts, trade loans. Those ones were still part of this. And then on the side of consumer, again, preference was short-term. So the digital lending, which Abdi has been able to share.
Frederick Muki for Lunchtime News.
Now listen to this. Imagine being able to access your salary anytime instead of waiting for the payday. The launch of My Salary on-demand salary access platform by Little, a Nairobi-based Fintech, will allow employees withdraw a portion of their accrued wages before traditional pay cycles. A move expected to, among others, ease financial stress and reduce dependency on high-interest loans.
The term payday refers to the designated day when employees receive compensation for work rendered to their employer.
Most of the time in the middle of the week, middle of the month, I used to see a lot of people around finance department trying to get some money here and there. So that's why I thought there is an opportunity for a product like this, and here it is.
The launch of the My Salary tool means employees will tap into earned wages instantly.
I mean, who would have thought that you can access your salary daily as you earn it, right? And this particular app makes that happen.
According to Kamal Budabati, CEO of Little, this flexibility ensures immediate liquidity for emergencies or opportunities, fostering financial stability.
It's a really simple idea, but great things are born off of simple ideas.
Little is integrating My Salary into existing HR and payroll systems without additional costs or process changes. The platform will see employees accessing nano advances, small interest-free salary based on days already worked. Regina Manyara reporting for Lunchtime News.
SBM Bank Kenya has launched 3 SME business hubs as it seeks to deepen financial and non-financial advisory support of SMEs across the country. SBM Bank Kenya chairperson Shakila says the business hubs are dedicated working spaces for the bank to hold business clinics and capacity building forums for SMEs. The business hubs will also double up as workspaces for the SMEs to host meetings with their clients and business partners.
We have created the Jijenge Biashara SME Hub for them to come and gain more financial access, at the same time to encourage a culture of discipline and more financial balance for their businesses.
So I'm very excited here today to launch of our SME Hub, where SMEs can get access to advice, to financing as well. This is one of about 5 we have across the country, and we hope to see a lot more services being offered here for our SME customers as well.
The Lake Basin Development Authority has rolled out training on best fish farming methods targeting cage and pond fish farmers. Lake Basin Development Authority Managing Director Wycliffe Ochianga further says the institution is installing a modern fingerlings production hatchery in Kisumu with a capacity of 3.5 metric tons of fingerlings monthly. Wycliffe Okech with more details.
Now, the reason why we adopted this technology was to address the shortfall that we have in terms of production of fish locally. And from the data that we have is that annually the demand for fish locally is around 600,000 metric tons. But the shortfall in terms of what we are able to produce as a country, we have a shortfall of around 180,000 metric tons. And so this center will come in very, very handy to address the shortfall, because annually we have the capacity of producing 45 million metric tons in terms of fingerlings. Now, another challenge that farmers have had away from the fingerlings are the quality fish feeds, and that is why we are partnering with Aquarage to try and provide the quality fingerlings to the farmers. Another challenge is on knowledge, and I'm sure from your tour of this farm, you've been able to notice that we have a training center just to transfer knowledge to farmers so that they are able to use the modern techniques in fish farming.
And now finally, let's play. President William Ruto has called on the private sector to step in and sponsor the safari rally in the future. While flagging off the 2025 WRC safari rally, Ruto revealed that the government has spent 968 million shillings to organize this year's event. He urged private companies to take the lead in sponsoring future editions, stating that the government is willing to cede ground and allow the private sector to take up the sponsorship role. The rally kicks off with a 4.76-kilometer super special stage at the Kasarani before heading to Naivasha for the 8.15-kilometer special stage in Mazabibu this afternoon. Tomorrow morning, the Safari Rally Kenya will begin with the 32.20-kilometer Cap Moran stage, followed by the 19.11-kilometer Loldia 1 stage. Other stages will take place in Friday and Saturday, culminating in the final two stages at the Oresengoni and the Hell's Gate. The event will conclude with an awards ceremony where the 2025 WRC Safari Rally Kenya champion will be crowned.
The future of Safari Rally depends on increased private sector involvement. Let me repeat that again. The future is predicated on increased private sector participation. I remember that this rally cost the government of Kenya 2.1 billion in 2023. I did give very firm instructions to the ministry that that figure should come down. I'm happy that in 2024, it came down by 800 million to 1.3 billion. And I insisted that this year it must cost less for the government of Kenya. I'm happy again that it came down by another 320 million. This year it's going to cost 980 million. I want to encourage the private sector. I am looking forward to the day when this will cost zero for the government of Kenya and the private sector will take it up because they need the advertising, they need the profiling. I think the government of Kenya is very willing to cede ground and to allow our private sector companies to shine.
And do remember to catch all the action here on KBC, given that we are truly your sporting partner. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim. The sign language interpreter at the bottom end of the screen is Lucy Mora. Good afternoon for now, and do join us in our subsequent bulletins at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.